Hello, my name is Tristy Taylor, and I'm a transformational teacher, counselor, and dreamworker. I'm the daughter of world-renowned dreamworker Jeremy Taylor and the prolific dream artist Catherine Taylor. So I grew up in a house saturated with dreamwork, shadow work, and the archetypal pantheon. I have a Master of Arts in Transformative Arts with a certificate in Dream Studies from the Graduate School for Holistic Studies at John F. Kennedy University. I'm also an ordained interfaith minister through the Chaplaincy Institute of Interfaith Ministry, and I've been professionally teaching, facilitating, and doing one-on-one dream work since 2005. But I facilitated my first dream group when I was only 15 years old. So technically, I have 3 decades of experience companioning others and opening into the wisdom of their unconscious. In this video, I'm going to go over what my father called the basic hints for dream work, which is essentially 5 points to keep in mind when doing projective dream work. And if you're wondering what projective dream work is, we will address that in this video. So my father fine-tuned these 5 basic hints over his 50 years of teaching and facilitating dream work. And then I myself have fine-tuned again these hints for myself and my work. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video. There's a link to download a free PDF of these 5 basic hints underneath this video, so please feel free to have that handout at the ready before continuing. So let's begin with hint number 1. All dreams speak a universal language and come in the service of health and wholeness. There is no such thing as a bad dream. Only dreams that sometimes take a dramatically negative form, also known as a nightmare, in order to grab our attention. Now, this first one's a whopper. I have many people who come originally to work with me because they have a chronic nightmare that tortures them and shows up chronically, and they want to get rid of it. And it's often a very hard thing for people to understand that every dream has a gift. Every dream comes in the service of health and wholeness. A dream never comes to say, haha, you're screwed, you're stuck, you're traumatized, and you'll never get better. It's just not how the unconscious works. So that's the very first thing to know about dream work, is that no matter how scary, traumatizing, or mundane and boring, a dream always comes in the service of health and wholeness. And that is a wonderful place to start in your dream work journey. Number 2, only the dreamer can say with any certainty what their dream may mean. Through dream work, this certainty often comes in the form of a wordless aha of recognition. And this aha feeling sources from a deep and authentic place in our hearts. This feeling of aha can show up as positive or negative. So an example of a negative aha is when the dreamer feels very strongly that their dream does not mean something, as opposed to just having a more neutral response. And this level of emotion is something to pay attention to, as it may signify a place where the dreamer is reluctant to go. So these aha moments, whether positive or negative, are the only most reliable touchstones of dream work. So we all know this aha feeling, right? It's this moment of insight, this moment of yes, if it's a positive aha, of like, wow, yes, that makes sense to me. Something is unfolding around that. Something is opening around my dream, around this insight. And I'm pretty sure we all have a memory of having a negative aha to something, whether it's in dream work or in waking life, when someone has said something that, ooh, it hits us right deep in the tenderest part of our hearts. And we want to get defensive. We want to say, no, not me. That's not what this is about. If it's that extreme of a response, there's something there. There's just something to explore there. It doesn't mean what the person shared is 100% true, but it means that there's enough interesting things there to explore. Again, as opposed to just, hearing an insight about our dream and just being like, yeah, maybe, and not really having much of a response. That would be maybe that insight isn't for you. It might be for the person who shared it with you, which is the cool thing about dream work, is even when it's someone else's dream, you can get a big aha from it, which is really cool. Number 3, there is no such thing as a dream with only one meaning. All dreams and dream images are multi-layered and can open up new insights every time they are worked with. And along those same lines, no dream comes to tell us what we already know. This is why when we hear, I already know what this dream is about, there's an opportunity to go more deeply if we like. And again, this is often next to the first hint about all dreams come in the service of health and wholeness. This is the next one that people get a little bristly with me about. They say, no, I know what this dream means. I don't need to explore it further. But dreams literally have thousands and thousands of layers of meaning. Again, that's one of the cool things about Dreamwork, is that we can take a dream from when we were 6 years old, and now that I'm 53, I can get huge new insights from that dream that, at 6, I couldn't receive. That, I was, so young. But being my age now, I could get some tremendous insights from a dream I had when I was 6 or 13 or 20. So dreams always have many, many layers of meaning. Basic hint number 4, when talking to others about their dreams, it's very important to understand how projection works. When we listen to someone's dream, all we can do is imagine our own version of the dream. So it's both honest and polite to preface any comments or reflections in a way that honors this projection by using first-person phrases like, if it were my dream, or in my imagined version of this dream. Along these same lines, when asking clarifying questions, it's best to use phrases like, what is the dreamer feeling when the monster is chasing them? Or, imagining myself as the dreamer, am I afraid when the monster is chasing me? This is the projection method, which honors the fact that the shared dream is a gift to everyone listening to it and allows others to have profound psychospiritual ahas of their own, even if they did not originally dream the dream. So this is probably one of the most important aspects of the dream work that I do, the way I was taught by my father, projective dream work. And the idea is that we can only imagine our version of what is being shared, of the dream being shared. So a monster is chasing me. Right away, everyone watching this video has a picture of a monster chasing them. And I guarantee you, none of those monsters look the same. We make assumptions that everyone knows what the monster looks like, but that's why we ask clarifying questions. Is it a reptilian monster? Is it a fuzzy monster? Is it a blobby monster? There's so many different kinds of monsters, right? So owning our projections is just being honest that it's always going to be my imagined version of the dream. And if you want to do some advanced work, try owning your projections in waking life all the time. So anytime you make an assumption about somebody else, use I statements instead. It's very, very interesting to catch yourself how many times you project on people and things and experiences all day, every day. We do it, it's human, but the more we can be honest about it, the more interesting things can get and the more insight we can get about ourselves. And number 5, all dream group participants should agree at the outset to maintain anonymity in all discussions of dream work. In the absence of any specific request for confidentiality, group members should be free to discuss their experiences openly outside the group, provided no other dreamer is identifiable in their stories. However, whenever any group member requests complete confidentiality, all members should agree to be bound automatically by such a request. Now, this applies to dream groups, which is what my father often did and which I do a lot of myself. And that is basically to be respectful of the dreamer, to not gossip about the dream. And if you yourself had some huge insights from someone else's dream, to just make sure that you keep the original dreamer anonymous. Don't share their gender, don't share their work that they do, don't share their name, of course, that basic stuff. So those are the 5 basic hints for projective dream work. And if you're interested in exploring more, I invite you to book a session with me one-on-one. I see people over Zoom all the time. You could sign up for my newsletter. You can join an upcoming class or a dream circle, dream group, which I facilitate twice a year. So more information about all these options can be found on my website at tristytaylor.com, and there is a link below for that. And if you're particularly interested in dream groups and dream circles, please check out my other introductory video about how to start and run a successful dream group yourself. And the link for that video is below. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And I hope that we will connect in some form in the future. Bye.